This is WSL2's second game in this midweek, and we've got another to come on Friday too, a northeast derby between Durham and Sunderland, all live on the league's YouTube channel. So Ipswich's back line is unchanged from that win over Portsmouth 10 days ago. Maria Boswell leads the team from right back. Peake, Waring and Rowe complete the back line in front of Negri in goal. On loan, Ava Baker makes her first start in midfield. Dean is the danger woman from out wide, and Lucy O'Brien is part of the attack. There's plenty of options on the bench as well for Ipswich Town, who are unbeaten under the caretaker management of David Wright. And if it ain't broke, don't go changing it. Charlton have stuck with the same team that beat Durham 4-2 at the weekend, perhaps unsurprisingly. Whitehouse captains the side from between the posts. The stingiest of all defences in the league is Mason at left back, Labato and Dow in the middle with Newsham on the right. Jodie Hutton loves to get forward, and in attack, Moyer, Kenny and Fitzgerald all scored on Sunday. Their captain, Kira Skeels, is on the bench, continuing her return from a lengthy layoff. Ava Barker just getting announced by the stadium PA, wearing number 32 there. There are high hopes across the game for Ava Barker. England Youth International wasn't getting the game time at Birmingham City. Here she is with a real chance to showcase her blossoming abilities. Just going through the full team there. You might have heard it. Kenzie Weir is in the Ipswich squad, yet to feature for Ipswich on loan from Everton. Somewhere there in the Charlton huddle is their number 12, Jodie Hutton. Karen Hill says there's no superstars in the Charlton team, just a group of brilliant squad players. But if one was to rise out of the pack, for my money, it might well be Hutton. 12 league goals across her 2 Charlton seasons. Be interesting to see how this pitch holds up at the job serve. Sunday's home game against Sheffield United postponed because of waterlogging. Joanne Horwood is match official in the centre of the park tonight. Now this pitch has seen a lot of football, not just in WSL2 as the home of Ipswich women. It's also had 15 home games for Colchester's men's team in EFL League 2. From our camera position, it looks absolutely fine. We're going to have to see the roll of the ball because, as I say, what is it? 4 days since a match was postponed due to waterlogging underfoot. This match was originally rescheduled after a frozen pitch in the month of January. That is why we're getting the treat of a second WSL2 midweeker. On Monday night, I'm sure you, if you didn't see it live, have seen the highlights. Birmingham City suffered their second defeat of the season to Crystal Palace, done them home and away, and Palace are surging. Well, are we looking at the champions-elect in WSL2? Can Ipswich do what no other team has done this season and beat the runaway Addicts? That is their challenge. Red against blue. I'm sure you know Ipswich in their famous blue colours, same as the men, and the Addicts in their preferred home strip of red. Now, what is curious about Charlton, who I've already told you, 8 points clear at the top of WSL2, in almost all of their games this season, they've had less possession of the ball than the teams that they are beating, the teams that they're playing against. They don't need the ball to win games of football. That has been the pattern of play so far in this season. Gillian Kenny picked up the ball in attack and tried to bring her defence back into it. The pass to Alicia Endow wasn't the best, and Endow's long ball is looking for a mixture of either Fitzgerald or Kenny. Play continues despite the appeal for handball, and now the whistle goes. Ipswich will have a defensive free kick. Megan Waring rolls it to her goalkeeper. This is Natalia Negri, an England under-23 international, actually just got called up for the squads that were announced this week for the next international break, which is coming up pretty quickly on the buffers. Lucy O'Brien breaking the ball between the lines and trying to pick out the runner down the left flank. Dealt with and sent all the way up the other end by a combination of Charlton's defence, and Megan Waring happy to give it to her goalkeeper. First touch for Paige Peake in the yellow boots. And O'Brien once again just finding a little bit of space in between the two lines of Charlton's attack and midfield. Nicely worked. Once again, Charlton happy to stand off, and the first time threaded through ball was attempted by Peskett, but couldn't pick out either of Dean or Baker in the middle. Does look a little bit puddingy in that penalty area. We need a high ball to come in and just see how it lands. Out on the main body of the pitch, it looks all right, but to cancel any game, to postpone any game, the whole pitch doesn't need to be waterlogged, just a section of it. Ball sent forward from the knee of Ellie Mason. Lucy Fitzgerald taking the ball back into midfield. Charlton happy to get touches of the ball all around the back line. Now with Mason, the left back, who has the aforementioned Jodie Hutton just in front of her wearing 12 with the blue boots. Hutton will track back and do her defensive duty, but that's not her game. She loves to be running in the other direction at pace and frightening defences. Waring spreads the ball back to her captain Boswell, the right back. And Kit Graham, on loan from Tottenham, tries to get her head up and play the ball over the top. Referee Joanne Horwood has got her first touch of the ball accidentally, and so we'll restart with a drop ball. So it is a fixture that affects both ends of the table. Ipswich have been rooted to the foot of the table all season, but they are out of that position courtesy of their victory over Portsmouth 10 days ago. Kenny. And Dow has the opportunity to move forward, and she's looking for Cara Moyer's run down the right. And Moyer's done well to ride the challenge and keep it in play. But there is Baker, back from midfield and mopping up defensively. Dean sees the ball out of play. Ipswich throw on the left-hand side. Both teams have had the ball in the opposite penalty area, but so far yet to do anything with it. Has been tough for the league to reschedule games that have fallen victim of the weather. We're heading into a big chunky international break over the next few weeks. And there's FA Cup football tucked into some of those weekends as well. So it's midweekers that have to be played. As Peskett tries to advance on the penalty area. Mason with the sliding challenge. And it's the first corner of the game. And it's going to go to the home team. Ipswich Town in their first season at this level, promoted last season. Has looked all season like it would be a one-year wonder, but all of a sudden, change of manager. Joe Sheehan left the club in January. David Wright took interim charge. Spent 3 years as a player with Ipswich Town. Also played here in this stadium for Colchester United, David Wright, and as a manager, 3 games unbeaten with the team that were bottom of the table. Corner comes in. Looked like a shot. It's the second corner. It's come out off Mason, who was guarding the near post. So if you are new to us and you've only just stumbled upon this because you're looking for a midweek football fix. Great to have you with us. You may well notice in the women's game, often you get shots from corners. That's not the best, but the theory is clearly amongst the players that if you can get the ball high and curl it in on target and pack players around the goalkeepers, there is the opportunity to score direct from corners. We've seen it at this level. Georgie Freeland has scored a couple this season in this league. Katie Zellum led the way, former Manchester United and England midfielder, used to bang him in for fun. So a reminder, Charlton top of the pile and 8 points clear of Birmingham in second, and a further buffer to those in third. Now the top three at the end of WSL 2 have the opportunity of promotion, so the top two automatically up into WSL 1 next year. The third place team will play off in a relegation promotion decider against the team that finishes bottom of the top division. I hope you followed all of that. But Charlton, to be completely honest, have no intention of coming third this season. The way they've played, at times grinding out wins, but their defence is something to behold. They do not get breached very often, conceding less than one a game. Katie Bradley bringing the ball forward, wearing 7 for Charlton, trying to thread the ball through to Fitzgerald, but pass a little heavy. Kira Flannery with the shorts pulled up. Alicia and Dow was looking for Kenny, just bounced off her. So game settling down to a rhythm. That rhythm is being set by the drummer in the stands. So Ipswich, if you know your geography, it's not a million miles from Colchester, but they play their lion's share of their home games at the Job Serve in Colchester. They are returning to the club's main stadium, Portman Road, at the end of March for their home game against Southampton. I am told there are still tickets available. If you want to go, check out the Ipswich Town website. Cracking day out, and it's lunchtime kickoff as well, so great way to start your day and still get home and crack on with everything else. Here's Hutton into the box. My player to watch coming into this one. She has won Charlton's first corner of the match. Good defending by Boswell, the Ipswich captain. Jodie Hutton was the WSL 2 Player of the Month for October. Charlton don't score bags and bags of goals. In that month, Hutton actually scored all of their goals, 3 of them, from a position wide of midfield. Look at everybody crowded inside the 6-yard area. There is a swirling wind, you can see it. The flag is being buffeted and the ball has just been blown off its spot, and that wind is blowing in towards Natalia Negri's goal. I would be stunned if this isn't an in-swinger. It is, and Negri has spilled it, and the loose ball finds its way away from her goal. Bit of a let-off for the Ipswich goalkeeper. Charlton with the wind at their backs in this first half. We did get word pre-match from our camera crew at the game that it is windy, and they are stationed pretty high in the stands, so hope they're okay. I know they're listening. Give us a nod. So throw into Ipswich, just inside their own half. It'll be taken by their left back, Bethan Rowe. It's really well dealt with, difficult high ball. And Baker as if she had a springboard, was able to jump up and keep it in play with her chest. But Charlton have turned it over and are trying to turn this spell of possession into attack. Flannery trying to direct the traffic in midfield. Nowhere to go, has to go back on herself to bring Dow forward from defence. Looked like nice football, but the pass just bouncing up, taking it away from Newsom down that right-hand side and out for an Ipswich throw once again. I mentioned that Ipswich Town have turned a bit of a corner since the turn of the year, but actually they've managed to score in 6 of their last 7 games. Have to go back to November for the last time they failed to score in WSL 2, and well, they really did fail to score that day. It was a 7-0 pummeling at the hands of Bristol City, but that seemed to press a reset button in the minds of everybody at the club, and since then there has been a keen-eyed focus that has really sharpened up since David Wright came in and took the reins. Still, as things lie, the caretaker boss here, but what brilliant care he's taken of the team so far. Turning out of trouble, Ava Baker is charging down, trying to put the squeeze on Charlton at the back. The Ipswich high pressure is working at the moment, forcing 1 or 2 errors, and Dow has lost the ball, and it needed that big hack clear from Newsom just to get the ball away from danger. It's loose again. Mitchell pounces on that loose ball. And Baker wants the give and go. And there's the skills that I've been looking forward to seeing. In round the back here, Baker. And has a second bite at it. Might yet fall for Dean. And Dean can only steer the ball just wide. Real sign of danger from Ipswich Town. Inside 15 minutes. It's the first chance Baker has had to get her head up and try and shift the ball quickly and show her pace into the penalty area. And Dean, who has scored important goals all season, couldn't quite find the accurate shot this time. There she is again with the flick on. And O'Brien is into the box, and she's gone down, and she has won a penalty. Well, Lucy O'Brien felt the contact from Alicia and Dow has gone straight to the referee's assistant to have a word. But Joanne Horwood did not hesitate. Alicia and Dow is still not happy, remonstrating with the referee. But I think O'Brien gets there first, and there is contact. Not all contact is a foul. I'm sure you'll be judging for yourself back home. But the big news in WSL 2 is that the leaders are facing a penalty on the quarter hour against the team second from bottom. O'Brien fouled, and it is she who has the ball under her arm. It's not yet clear whether she'll be the one taking it. Bethan Rowe is standing on the penalty spot. I imagine she's trying to protect the spot from any damage. All the while this is going on, Karen Moyer is down and receiving treatment just on the edge of the D. So a little bit of tension just building. Mentioned before, it does look soggy, puddingy in that penalty area around where the ball will be placed for the spot kick. Karen Moyer is super consistent, ever present last season in the league. Already got the strapping on that left leg, just above the knee. And just taking a little bit of time out of the game here and building the tension, and now, yeah, this is a little bit of gamesmanship, I think. Sophie Whitehouse has gone down to untie a shoelace. The gloves have come off. More time being added to the tension that will be felt ahead of this penalty for Ipswich Town. What a big moment this could be in their season. On the water bottle, I think she's glancing down. That looks like instructions to me. May well be that the backroom team have fed her information about which penalty takers go where, but it's up to the Charlton captain now to try and keep the score at 0-0. Here's another look at the incident. Judge for yourself. There's certainly contact boot on boot. Not the most dead cert penalty I've ever seen, but personally, no issue with the referee's decision to point to the spot there. And after all that, Lucy O'Brien with the ball under her arm. It's not going to be her to take it. It's going to be Bethan Rowe. And she has put the ball into the back of the net. It's Paige Peake, I beg your pardon. Paige Peake has taken the penalty, scored the penalty, put it in the back of the net. But the big story is that Ipswich, down the bottom of the table, have been struggling all season but have turned such a corner since New Year, are leading the runaway leaders at the top of WSL 2. And they're good for it too. Before the penalty, the best chance of the game was fashioned by Baker, running hard at the Charlton back line. And Charlton, who are not amongst the top scorers in the league, have to come from behind if they are going to protect their streak. They talk about the streak in South London at the Valley. It's a streak that rivals The Undertaker at WrestleMania, 26 unbeaten. Even The Undertaker's streak came to an end. And there is the goal scorer. Peak performance, peak penalty, 1-0 Ipswich. So approaching the 20-minute mark. You can see the wind is having its imprint on the ball. Gillian Kenny, the American, has dropped deep to try and help with the creative work from Charlton. And well, the crossfield ball from Flannery was looking for Moyer, who more often than not would be wider than her starting position there. But I'm not sure Flannery actually looked whether she just thought she'll definitely be there, because that ball caught the wind and was no way Moyer was going to keep that in play. Strong defending from Waring, who has won the foul as well. Two hands in the back. From Fitzgerald, down she goes. Free kick to Ipswich Town. David Wright came in, secured a 1-1 draw at home against Bristol City, went up to Newcastle, drew 1-1 with them, and then went down to the South Coast and got the victory against Portsmouth. 3 games, 5 points, and those 5 points have lifted them from done and dusted to off the bottom. If they could hold on to take anything from this game, never mind victory, I think that would be his best job so far. Plenty of football still to be played. Ipswich only have 2 wins all season. Both have come against Portsmouth, incidentally. A 3rd victory. If it were to finish like this, they would move 3 points clear of Pompey down the bottom. And Ipswich also have a game in hand. Ipswich, after this one, still have 7 left to play. Early days yet, but I have to say, I'm a little surprised. Most of my pre-match preparation was taken up by how many games are Charlton away from certifying promotion, how many games to certifying the league title. This league just keeps showing to us you can take nothing for granted. Bristol City looked like they were playing some great football. Ipswich trying to press high up. Hutton has tried to help the ball on, and Flannery has had her pocket picked. And it's another free kick, this time conceded by Kenny. Foul on Rihanna Dean, who showed clean set of heels, just a roll of studs over the ball. It's a great opportunity for Ipswich to work the ball forward, and if they want to, perhaps load the box. Just worth bringing your attention at the top of the screen, Ava Baker was shown a yellow card in the aftermath of the goal. I'm not sure it was picked up as it happened, as we were showing you the replays of the penalty scored by Paige Peak. Baker trying to slow down the restart, and hers is the first name in Joanne Horwood's notebook for the night. Cross comes in, is looking for Dean. He's right on target, and the shot is not far wide from Graham. Ipswich not content with one. Well, Anne-Marie Batson, our reporter at the ground tonight, had a chat with both managers pre-match, and David Wright was very bullish. We know the size of the challenge, we've trained hard, we're up to the fight. We want to take the game to them. Sometimes you hear managers' comments and you raise an eyebrow and you think, obviously they're going to say that, of course they're going to say that. But in reality, is that likely to be? Well, so far, and we've had half of the first 45 plus, Ipswich are taking the game to the runaway leaders. Question at the top of the programme, are we looking at the champions-elect? Well, maybe, but there's still work to be done. Karen Hills, incidentally, was asked by Anne-Marie pre-match, how do you prepare for a game against a team that are scrapping for every challenge, scrapping for every point, just to stay in the league? And she did say it was a good question. But the one thing Charlton have to do is stay in their lane, she says. We do us. Ipswich not letting them do us right now. Although I will point you to a couple of the other stats that I told you about earlier. They have the best defence in the league. Attack wins match, defence wins championships. That's the old adage. NFL, NBA, any sport, they'll tell you that. It's now 10 goals conceded in 16 games for Charlton, with that penalty scored by Peak. And they do have it in the locker to score goals at the other end. Just one or two loose and slightly lazy fouls given up by Charlton. That time it was Hutton, 2 hands in the back. Always going to be penalised for that. Boswell, experienced defender, felt the challenge. Down she went, knowing that she would hear the whistle. But this scoreline will be music to the ears of Birmingham City. Defeat on Monday night to Crystal Palace. Well, there's the win. Oh dear, that is not what Natalia Negri was looking for from the kick. The wind has now shifted. It was straight into the goalkeeper's face. It looks now to be blowing from corner to corner into this near corner that we're on, and the ball will keep blowing and blustering out of play down in this corner. Look at that corner flag. You might just have caught the bleach blonde hair of Princess Ademola throwing the ball back to her captain Maria Boswell, in on loan from Gotham FC and on the bench for Ipswich today. England under-19 international who scored good goals for the England youth setup. Mason, Lobato, and Ndao, whose foul has helped shape the tenor of this game so far. Penalty awarded and dispatched so well by the Ipswich Town centre-back Paige Peake. It's really good from Rowe. And you might hear that soul voice in the stand saying, she's just too good for you. She's just too good for you. Certainly showed two players a clean set of heels before drawing the free kick. Boswell this time goes in slightly clumsily on Jodie Hutton. That's one each now. Hutton wins the free kick. Tough conditions out there at the job serve tonight in Colchester. Hutton to deliver. You can see the ball just shaking in the wind, even when it's placed flat on the ground, and difficult to defend under the high ball. Flannery spreads the play, hoping that Fitzgerald will keep it in, but it's caught the breeze. Chilly night. Subs warming up from the 25th minute. I think that's probably just to stay warm rather than warm up. Peake back to her goalkeeper, and another slightly unconvincing clearance from her, and Bradley has won the ball, and Bradley is shooting softly straight into the hands of Negri. I mentioned she plays for the England under-23s. The Ipswich goalkeeper. Kit Graham caught on the ball. Bradley shot, not really testing the goalkeeper, but Negri will be part of the England under-23 setup for 3 games over the next few weeks, and one of them against the Netherlands is a home game, and that will be at the home of Shrewsbury Town, the Crowd Meadow. If you wanted to go and see England under-23 women, check it out. You'll find out information online. But here come Ipswich with Peskett getting the ball centred, and Flannery takes no chances. Corner conceded as we approach the half-hour mark. Short corner taken quickly. Peskett to Graham. Might yet fall for Peskett again. Moyer again is deciding not worth the risk of trying to bring the ball down. And it's going to be another corner for Ipswich Town. Bags of experience, Kit Graham, on loan from Tottenham Hotspur. First Ipswich start for her too. Low one, and Dow off the thigh. 3rd corner in a row. Ipswich, remember, playing against the wind, into the face of it. Boswell being marked by Gillian Kenny. Closely watched. There's a player down in the 6-yard area, and Joanne Horwood is just going to come over and calm it all down. It's Rhianna Dean and Lucy Fitzgerald. Whitehouse, as the captain, is more than entitled to hear what the referee is saying. This time it's taken short to the edge of the box, and Baker, first time strike, is Straight over the top of the posts, which is good in the Six Nations, but less so in the WSL too. Nice idea. I'm sure Ava Baker will tell us it just bobbled as it got to a boot. Long ball forward, helped on by Kenny and blocked off by Peake. And Charlton want a free kick for that because Peake was nowhere near the ball. Waring. Now the goal scorer, Peake. Can play in midfield as well. Settled down nicely, enjoying her role at centre-back. Good running from Peskett, in off the wing. And switching the play. Baker is looking for the run of Dean and found her perfectly. And it just wouldn't sit for the Ipswich number 9. Really good running from Peskett, who can be a pest herself, but Baker seems to be the one pulling all the strings for Ipswich. It's a terrific delivery. Mitchell has lost it in midfield and Bradley can start the gallop forward. Fitzgerald trying to find space. Here's Moyer, option outside her, and it's back to Curran Moyer. And it's a really important block challenge by Waring. Still might come for Hutton. Always fading away from goal with the shot. Six goals for the season, Jodie Hutton, in all competitions. She certainly knows where the goal is. Now, these kicks have not been travelling an awful long way, and there's the wind, and that is a throw-in. You start to wonder, why wouldn't they take them short and try and work it out? But I imagine they don't want to invite Charlton onto them with the precious 1-goal lead that they've got, Ipswich Town. But Negri and her kicking, especially from that side of the goal, just needs a little bit of support. Mason's throw. Looking for Hutton, who's wrestled it free and gets the cross centralised. Corner is conceded by Waring. Real opportunity this for Charlton. The wind is still blowing. Katie Bradley's delivery is high, catching the wind, and too much. That certainly seems the strategy when shooting in that direction. If the wind holds up, it'll benefit Ipswich in the second half. Difficult to play through balls because they just keep on running, but high balls into the box can cause chaos for the back line and goalkeeper. Now this is perhaps slightly easier to take goal kicks from this side because, yeah, more distance and the wind won't blow them straight out of play. She got a good 30 yards extra distance on that one, Negri, because of the protection the stand is offering up against the wind. It's not just wind. Oh, what an evening. Wet and cold. And miserable unless you're in a blue shirt. Bradley's win, wants the free kick and gets the free kick. It was Rowe holding on to her. And so Hutton is coming across from the opposite wing. I think this is going to be high and deep and ask real questions of the blue back line. There is a player just standing 10 yards offside, trying to create confusion in the Ipswich back line. It's a good delivery. Flannery was the player standing offside. She's now back onside. And a free kick has been awarded right on the edge of the area. It's a handball, and well, Graham is trying to explain that there's nothing I can do. The ball was kicked at me from close range. I think she's got a point. It was pinball, really, bouncing off her own teammate Peskett into her arm. But the decision is made, and it now means that Ipswich are probably facing the tensest of their defensive moments in the game so far. Free kick on the edge of the D, with a wind and heavy rain blowing into the eyes of their goalkeeper, Negri. Looks like Katie Bradley wants this. She's got the right foot, Hutton's got the left. It's Bradley, it's through the wall, and it's out for a corner. Deflecting off that blue wall, which did its job. Defensive wall 101, did its job, stood tall. And Charlton now can fashion an opening with a corner. Hutton in the wind and rain, flat delivery, deep delivery, Newsom heads it back. Flicked on by Mason. And Dean has gone down in the penalty area. And a free kick has been awarded to Ipswich Town. She's holding her head. Good delivery this from Hutton. Flat and deep. Newsom did really well to keep it alive. Mason helped it on. And just off camera, Dean went down. Well, they will hope that she is fit to carry on. Rhianna Dean got the opening goals in both of Ipswich's wins this season. Both came against Portsmouth, 3-2 in September, 2-1 in February. Somewhere down there, I think in the Black Mac, is Karen Hills, calling her Charlton team together. Quick powwow before the 15-minute break at half-time. David Wright getting his players over one-on-one. Dean is okay to continue. Five minutes left in the first half. And Karen Hills Charlton, top of the league, are trailing 1-0. Negri's best kick of the game. Rowe. Baker in front of her. Here is Ava Baker. O'Brien went for the run, was ignored, and Moyer has done well to wrestle that ball back. Gillian Kenny tries to stab the ball through to Newsom, who continued her run from right back. Charlton would love something to show from this first 45. Couldn't say that Ipswich have bossed it. Mason to take the throw. It's pretty close in the possession stakes. Ipswich ever so slightly shading it, 52-48%. They've both had 5 shots. They've both had 1 on target. And they've both had a hatful of corners, but so far the only goal has come from the penalty spot. Mason with the headed control gets the cross in, and Negri has patted it down to herself. And there is a flag up. I think the ball might have just gone out of play before Negri gathered it, so goal kick. Just as half-time looms, she's finally got to grips with this wind, Natalia Negri. Ipswich gratefully receiving that free kick. Foul by Gillian Kenny. Nice first timer from Peake into Graham, who tried to do the same to pick out O'Brien. Dean doing really well to hold off 2 challenges, felt she was fouled. David Wright will be absolutely delighted if this is the scoreline when we go to the break. Terrific footwork by Dean, and now Boswell takes over the running. Pitch has held up really well, actually. Had 1 or 2 questions in my mind about that penalty area we're looking at, but the roll of the ball has been unaffected, especially considering the rain is continuing to fall. So hats off to the ground staff at the JobServe Community Stadium for sorting the waterlogging and making sure we've got a game on this evening. Lovely touch and turn by O'Brien, and trying to pick a pass, not quite finding her teammate in midfield. Megan Waring full of running there to create an angle for a pass, because Bethan Rowe was short of options. Ipswich know there's 30 seconds to the 45. They're in no rush. Why would they be? Decent kick, Negri. Flannery sends one over the top. It may well hold up in the wind. Rowe back to a goalkeeper, and Negri had to clear her lines with Moya advancing on her quickly. Four minutes to be added on at the end of the first half. 4 minutes for David Wright and his Ipswich team to maintain their 1-goal lead. Or perhaps 4 minutes for Charlton to get a real foothold in the game. Bodes well for the second 45, this scoreline. Charlton desperate to hold on to their unbeaten run. Headed goalwards is off the crossbar from Fitzgerald. Goal kick. Charlton felt there was a goalkeeper touch in there. It's a really good effort because the ball looked to be too high for the Charlton number 11. She's backpedaling. Does well to get that ball to come down, but not quite enough. Denied by the frame of the goal. Here's Kenny. has runners left and right of her. Picks out Karen Moyer. There's options to aim at in the middle, and Moyer has gone for goal and hit the side netting. Well, this was dangerous from Charlton Athletic. Ipswich defenders seemingly trotting back, and Moyer had the space and time. Their best two chances coming in the last couple of minutes of injury time. Fitzgerald off the crossbar, Moyer into the side netting. And still, Natalia Negri has a clean sheet. Ball has bobbled through, and Lucy O'Brien is now running, shadowed by Katie Bradley. Baker is quick and got there ahead of Newsom, and it looked like she wasn't going to, but she has. O'Brien cuts back to Mitchell. Graham inside her. Mitchell again. Spreading the play to pick out Peskett. Ball just ran away from her. Does well to spread it through to Boswell, the captain, and Flannery with some brilliant defensive work to nick it off her toe. We've had 3 of the 4. Oh, quality from Boswell. A little nutmeg in there from the Ipswich captain. Rolling the ball through the legs of her opponent. And then Bradley penalised for a foul right on halfway. Watch this. Oh, not quite a nutmeg. I've put a little bit of sugar on top for her, but it was a lovely bit of skill. Paige Peake, whose swing of the right boot separates the sides. Good challenge by O'Brien, putting a brave toe in there. Through ball was looking for Peskett in behind Hutton, who recovered well. And there is the half-time whistle at the JobServe Community Stadium. And so far it's a job well done. Ipswich have the lead, courtesy of Paige Peake's penalty. Alicia and Dow fouling Lucy O'Brien in the box. And Ipswich were good for their lead. Charlton had 2 good chances late in the half. Lucy Fitzgerald with a header that hit the roof of the bar. And Karen Moyer hitting the side netting with a strike from 12 yards out. As they go to the break, this is a surprise. Ipswich, second bottom, lead the leaders by a goal to nil. And you can just see at the bottom of your screen there is a substitute being made. Lucia Lobato is going off. Centre-back for Charlton. And Kira Skeels, who is the club captain, just back from 3 months out, had ankle surgery in October, is coming on for the second half. So Lobato off, Skeels on. A lot of experience being thrown on at half-time. Always good to add your club captain to the mix. But it looks like Sophie Whitehouse will keep hold of the armband for Charlton. Oh, and there is also, I can see there, with the blonde hair, top middle of your screen, a substitution for Ipswich Town. Princess Adamaloy has come on, and Rihanna Dean has gone off. Dean, who had a chance, Ipswich top scorer, had a chance in that first half, but did go down injured at one point. So a change apiece. Ipswich lead the leaders 1-0. It's on these kinds of nights in howling wind and rain where Charlton will truly test their mettle. Champions win against all the odds. We asked at the top of the programme, are we looking at the champions elect? Charlton 8 points clear at the top of WSL 2. Birmingham in second, lost on Monday. Are we about to see the league leaders lose their cloak of invincibility? The next 45 minutes will tell us exactly that. O'Brien and Graham combined to try to get the ball up to halfway. It's immediately coming back towards them, and Hutton has won a throw-in on that far side. Mason will come forward to take. Bobbling around in the box. Fitzgerald is the first onto it. Hutton couldn't get the cross in, and that is absolutely hacked away by Boswell, the Ipswich skipper. Charlton playing into the wind, but seems to be having the same impact as on Ipswich Town in the early part of the first half. Quite enjoying playing into the wind rather than balls running away from them. Loose one, and it's saved by the feet of Negri. Gillian Kenny getting across her marker and just throwing a boot at it. It's Moyer with the cutback. It's a good effort actually, off balance, closely watched by Mitchell. Early second half corner to the league leaders Charlton. It's an in-swinger. It's not swinging far enough. And it's cleared to the edge of the box, and it's pretty decent running from Peskett. Waring closed down. Managed to get the ball off her toe, but Charlton have come out with a fresh lease of life in this second half. Fitzgerald gets the cross charged down. Does well to pick out Moyer. Newsom with the first time cross, slightly off balance. Difficult for Waring, and Charlton have pounced on it once again. Fitzgerald for Hutton. Boswell gets a toe in there. Now Kira Flannery running down a bit of a blind alley. Finally, Ipswich get the chance to get their toe on the ball. First touch for their substitute, Adam Aloy. Fitzgerald seeing a lot of the ball early in this second half. We've played 3.5 minutes of it, and most of it has been in and around the edge of the Ipswich Town penalty area. But Moyer is penalised for the foul on Rowe, and Ipswich, I would imagine, will not be in any rush to take this. Long ball forward, looking for Adam Aloy, who's given the foul away. Sub on sub. Kira Skeels pushed to the floor. Ellie Mason driving the ball forward. Pings it into the boot of Hutton, and Ipswich have it back. That's a nice ball down this left flank for Baker to Teston Dow. Good defending by Newsom, who had switched positions with Dow, and between the two of them managed to silence the attack. Really good football from Charlton, from back to front here. Bradley blocked out by a combination of blue shirts and black. The referee getting herself involved in the match. So Skeels, the substitute, has gone straight back in at centre-back. More than capable of playing in midfield if Charlton wanted to tweak their formation as the game wears on. Maybe to a back three, and Skeels could sit in defensive midfield and try and pack out that midfield and dominate possession. But for now, the formation is unchanged. That's good work from Rowe, winning one challenge, then two. Now Adam Aloy carrying the ball forward with pace and poise and power and playing the ball through to Peskett. All the P's, but it just runs away from Peskett. But this is why they've loaned her in from the USA, from Gotham FC in New Jersey. England under-19 international. Rowe back to Negri. The kick's too long for Baker. Oh, it's been a good week for Ipswich Town, even though their own game was postponed because of bad weather at the weekend. Newcastle United beat Portsmouth, keeping Portsmouth nailed to the foot of the table. That could still change tonight if Ipswich were to lose by 4 goals or more, which, as the minutes tick on by, looks increasingly unlikely. It's just goal difference keeping them above Portsmouth coming into this match, but as they stand, winning this game as they are, they would go 3 points clear of the relegation zone. Ipswich happy to reduce it to walking pace when the ball goes dead. Good night so far for David Wright. We want to take the game to them, he said. Well, I wonder if the second half will be slightly different. The game has well and truly been taken to Charlton. It might now be about digging in. Flannery with the volley upfield to Fitzgerald. Hutton has continued her run. Smart work by Boswell, back to her keeper. Adam Alai is a presence. She's already got her fingerprints all over this one. First time she got the ball, she was able to carry her team 20 yards upfield. Tempted through ball, had the whiff of danger about it as well. And just there, applying pressure, winning her team a throw-in. That's good defending by Mason. Bouncing the ball off the substitute, out for a Charlton throw. Lovely threaded pass by Bradley. Picks out Dow, who can roll it down the line to Newsom. Good defending Rowe. Long throw flicked on by Moya. Off balance clearance has played it into a spot of bother here for Ipswich Town. Peskett with the defensive work and gets her head up to run and carry the ball forward, and she's ridden 2 challenges. Princess Adam Alai looks for the give and go. That's really good feet by O'Brien, who has gone to ground. Play on, says the referee. Good contest, this one. 10 minutes into the second half. Mitchell is leaning too heavily on Fitzgerald. Whistle goes. Throw into Charlton. 37 points coming into tonight. Charlton Athletic, 48 will be enough for promotion. They are just 11 points short, and they've won a corner. 48 points being that Newcastle United, who are currently in 5th, but with a game in hand, with that game in hand, they could become the 3rd best team. The most they can get to is 47. So 48 will guarantee promotion as a top 2 finish, which has to be the bare minimum for this Charlton team, who have led pretty much from start to finish. They won the first 5 games of the season and have never looked back. Hutton with the corner. Looping too far. Wind is still a real factor out there. Look, it's being blown off its spot. It's the 3rd time that Negri has battened it down. Fitzgerald heads the ball into touch, and it lands with a splash on that canopy that's used to cover the pitch. Big old puddle for Maria Boswell to rescue the ball from. Adam Alloy is wrestled to the ground, UFC style. Jodie Hutton penalised, free kick to Ipswich. Ronda Rousey making an MMA comeback. This was shades of her. High ball into the box, aimed at Adam Alloy, and with the goalkeeper advancing, well, a little lift of the eyebrows could well have guided it over Whitehouse. But the header goes harmlessly wide. Defender and goalkeeper getting in each other's way. Double substitution coming up for Ipswich Town. Natasha Thomas, the Jamaica international, is coming on, and Malika Mina is coming on too. Lucy O'Brien won the penalty that gave Ipswich the lead. Her night is coming to an early end. Kit Graham as well in midfield on her first Ipswich start. So Thomas going straight into attack along with Adam Alloy. And Malika Mina will play further back, straight into central midfield, it looks like, in a straight swap for Kit Graham. Mitchell using her strength and winning the free kick under the close attention of Kenny. Here come Ipswich again. Wonder what the couple of changes they've just made will do for their approach to the game. This is lovely footwork from Peskett. Needed support, and the offload wasn't the best to our captain. They have won a throw. Adam Alloy, back to Boswell, first time cross. Is a good one for the substitute Thomas, diving header. Well, what an impact that could have been. Lovely layoff and a terrific first time ball from the captain. And Thomas beaten down to it. Just called up for Jamaica's World Cup qualifier against Nicaragua at the end of the month. Nat Thomas. Lovely first touch from Fitzgerald, but the ball just ran out on her. Peake managed to get her boot to the ball. Now Peskett is flanked by 2 red shirts. And it needed a third to send the ball away from goal, but the loose ball is won by Adam Aloy in the box, who is making her presence felt and cannoning the ball into the side netting. Well, she seems like a footballer in a hurry. Back in England, having gone out to further her career with Gotham FC. What a life that must be, living in New York, New Jersey. And now back home. And looking to remind everybody of the prowess of Princess. Just like that, quarter of an hour has gone already in this second half. Sure, the messaging from David Wright will have been something like chalk off the time, 5 minutes by 5 minutes. Well, they've done that 3 times over. Peskett into Adam Aloy, who has come up with the ball, and look how many blue runners there are. She's ridden another challenge, drills the ball across and had options, but instead went for the low drill. In the conditions, anything on target is a test for Whitehouse in the goal. That's lovely skill to get away from Skeels. But look at that. Head up, pull the ball back, went for goal. Charlotte Newsom is down for Charlton. There's a bit of a break in play because there's a loose lace being tied up in Ipswich blue as well. So just as we've gone past the hour mark, 2 games of football in the space of 4 days takes its toll. And for now, it looks like Newsom is going to soldier on. Moya had nowhere to go. That's lovely from Endow. Great disguise, pretending to clear, and a little Cruyff turn. I know many a coach that wouldn't like to see their centre-back doing that. Kenny hits the ball out on the laces to find Newsom. Moya in support. Lovely step over by the right back and whipped goalwards. It was Fitzgerald who tried to flick it in at goal. And now Ipswich could be away here. And yes, they could still be, because Adam Aloy's got the ball into the box and cut back trying to find willing runners. Peskett has bought herself a yard and tests the goalkeeper as well. For all Charlton's endeavour in trying to get forward to fashion chances to level this game, they have to be wary of the Ipswich Town counter-attack. This is rapid. Nat Thomas feeding Adam Aloy, who did really well to find Peskett. And look at this skill. 2 of them. See you later. Bethan Rowe will take the corner. Had a good game at left back. Peskett near post is watched by Newsom. But the height is on the edge of the 6-yard area. It's not the best delivery. We've seen a few corners tonight that have gone, in effect, straight out without giving anybody a chance to get on the end of it. Conditions aren't easy, but I mentioned earlier, sometimes the strategy is to shoot. Shouldn't be the only strategy. Free kick given against Mitchell. Moya has won it. And look at the speed with which she's tried to get forward. Such an urgency about Charlton. Another 5 minutes has ticked by. We've had 20 of the second 45. Boswell's clearance, Charlton throw. And they've left it for Ellie Mason, who has an arm on her. Javelin not accurate enough. Kenny. Nice pass. And Dow out of her feet and having a go. Too much fizz on the through ball for Newsom. Still her foul challenge that led to the penalty is what separates the sides. Still the rain falls, and still the wind, in its seemingly ever-changing direction, is just buffeting all around the job serve. Very difficult conditions out there tonight. Baker, on loan from Birmingham City. Trying to thread the through ball to anybody in blue. Rowe, left back with the right-footed cross. Throw into Ipswich. Leah Mitchell back to Rowe. Neat step over, but a right footer playing at left back. She wanted the ball to fall for her right foot for the proper whip on the cross. Didn't sit for a goal kick to Charlton. Heading towards the last 20 minutes. It's been a frustrating night for Charlton and their travelling fans. A wet Monday, and Moya is punished. Boswell sends one high into the penalty area. It's only half cleared. And the shots from Mina, the substitute, is wide of the target. Ipswich Town making a substitute as we look at Malika Mina's effort that went wide. Baker is going off for Ashworth Clifford. And Charlton making changes too. Kira Flannery is going off, and so is Karen Moyer. Emma Bissell coming on, attacking change. Emma Bissell and Katie Lockwood are the two players to come on. Lockwood was a January transfer from Glasgow City. Has played Champions League football and will be relishing the opportunity to play in the second tier here in England. Great win, Adam Malloy, and now Ipswich have turned over possession. First look for Ashworth Clifford, the substitute winger. Has support from Peskett. Near post cross is deflected, goal bound by Skeels, and had to be watched by the goalkeeper Whitehouse. Well, Skeels is just back from a lengthy 3-4 month injury after ankle surgery. Difficult night in the rain, slightly misjudging that one. Charlton down the other end, and the cross is bouncing, skidding into the grateful arms of Negri. Into the last 20 minutes. What a job. Ipswich. David Wright's Ipswich are putting together. Here's another look at this fast break from Charlton. It's Bissell, the substitute, with the chop back and trying to pick out Fitzgerald in the middle. Good night's work so far. We're up for the fight was part of his messaging prior to this game. Unbeaten in 3, can he make it 4? What a start that would be. Took over the team, consigned by many to relegation with still a whole bundle of games to go. I think they had 10 games to go when he took over. Within 3, they were off the bottom and out of relegation. Within 4, they could be toppling the unbeatables. Ipswich throw. And that one's gone the other way. Ipswich have only picked up 10 points all season. This is their 15th game. 6 of those 10 points have come in their last 6 games. They could be about to make it 9 in their last 7. What a difference a couple of months makes. Brilliant turn. And Jody Hutton is running at the Ipswich back line. Fitzgerald takes it away from goal. And Thomas got the important toe end on it. Ipswich dropping deeper and deeper. You can see that here. Slight change of tack. What we have, we hold. Charlton will have to play through 3 lines of blue-shirted players. Adam Malai shows too much of the ball to Katie Bradley and then fouls her. Smart play by the England Youth International, just standing on the loose ball ahead of the free kick, slowing it all down, enabling Ipswich to get back into their shape defensively. Hutton has come across to take. Flights it, looking for the edge of the 6-yard area. It's too close to the goalie. Paige Peak. Oh, it's a good win over on that far side. Katie Lockwood, but she couldn't deliver the cross. Has won a throw for her team. Here's the other Katie, Bradley, turning away from the challenge, but Mitchell came from nowhere to steal it off her toe and wins the free kick. And not just that, the card is coming out for Bradley. Just got the wrong side. Sliding tackle, always dangerous from that angle. Yellow card for the Charlton number 7. .15 minutes to go. That's a good win. Ashworth Clifford with the back heel, and now she's going for it again. Rowe ignores her. Onto the right foot, her favoured foot for crossing. Ademiloye with the header. Got decent power on it. Clever from Rowe. Using the decoy runner to buy herself a yard. And picking her pass. Decent cross. Just feel that this iteration of Ipswich Town, with their January signings that they've made, clever loans, Ava Baker, Princess Ademiloye, they seem so much better equipped. First 6 months, or maybe 3 or 4 months of this division was just getting used to the level, and it takes time to settle. They seem settled. Look at the rain. Soggy night. If we were kicking off now, or in an hour's time, well, this one might be under threat too, as the weekend was against Sheffield United, a postponement due to waterlogging. That game will have to be rearranged, another midweek special. We look forward to bringing you that on the league's YouTube channel. Skeels with solid defensive work. Unable to pick out a red shirt though. This would be a misstep for Charlton if they can't salvage anything from the game. 8 points clear of Birmingham City. Birmingham will have a game in hand. What could have been 11 may well turn into just 5 if Birmingham were to win that game in hand. And then the big thing that keeps flashing at me in lights is the final day's fixture of this WSL 2 season. Charlton against Birmingham. Could be a title decider. Shot comes goalwards, and Negri, with the cricketing long barrier, gets everything behind it to prevent the ball from squirming underneath her. It's Bissell with the shot. Charlton have proved all season you do not need the ball to win games of football. They see less of the ball than every other team in WSL 2. If you look at the possession stats for the season, 38% Charlton, and they've won pretty much every game. Tonight, they've had more of the ball, 53%, and they are not winning. Cross comes in, cleared by a blue shirt, only as far as Bradley, who shoots from range, and Negri wasn't sure. And Negri has stayed down, the Ipswich Town goalkeeper. It's a decent effort in the conditions. Anything on target here will be a real test for any goalkeeper. Hacked clear, nobody closing Bradley down. Why not have a go in that slippery, skiddy penalty area? But Negri is down, and she's holding her hamstring. Well, this will be of concern for David Wright. Does have a goalkeeper on the bench, Laura Hartley. So an unsanctioned timeout for Karen Hill's opportunity to pull her team in, and it's Katie Bradley that is getting the key messaging there. Bradley, who just had that shot from range. Charlie Cave down there is Karen Hill's assistant. And we're about to see another substitute. Colette Kavanagh, defender, set to come on for Ipswich Town. It looks like the goalkeeper, Negri, is okay. Those cynical viewers among you at home might be thinking, well, there's 10 minutes to go, they're 1-0 up against the leaders. Of course, she's got a bit of a twinge, but we'll see how this kick goes. There was a bit of a limp after that. Free kick given against the substitute Adam Alayi, who has protested her innocence to Joanne Horwood. Can't believe the decision. And there will be another break in play for another substitute on both sides. So it's Leah Mitchell coming off for Ipswich Town. And Colette Kavanagh coming on. Kavanagh wearing 21. Emily Thestrup and Mary McAteer are both coming on for Charlton Athletic. It looks like Jodie Hutton is one of the players coming off. And Lucy Fitzgerald is going off for Emily Thestrup. So big attacking set of substitutions. McAteer, Thestrup, both attackers. Fresh legs for two attack-minded players. Hutton and Fitzgerald off. And what will that do, if anything, for this Charlton front line that are running out of time? 8 minutes they've got, plus any additionals. Newsom up towards Thestrup. Loose ball is bobbling and bouncing. Bissell gives it back to Bradley. Newsom's high cross is headed into the bottom corner. It's Gillian Kenny who has risen higher than anybody else. And the American may well have saved Charlton's streak. 26 unbeaten. They do not go down easy for anyone. It's a brilliant cross by Newsom. And Kenny gets in between two defenders and powers her header into the back of the net. Well, it's not one of the substitutes, but you just wonder what confusion that may have caused in the Ipswich Town back line. Who's marking who? Karen Hills has made her changes and her team have struck. And Ipswich are looking to come straight back on the attack. Adam Alayi is in there and the ball is turned in, but the flag is up and the whistle has already gone. What a turn of events that would have been. I think it's a handball against Princess Adam Alayi. We'll get another look. Here it is. It's brilliant work. The ball just pops up there. It does brush her hand. There's no offside in there. It must be handball. Well, if the penalty in the first half was a, seen him given, I think that is too, because that ball was flashed at her hand rather than her moving her hand to the ball. But it was in the act of setting up a goal. No VAR in WSL 2. That was all the referee Joanne Horwood and her assistants live in the moment. Probably on balance getting it right. Into the last 5 minutes of what has been a brilliantly soggy and absorbing game. Great to watch in foul, rotten conditions. And still, we don't yet know which way this is going. Charlton, 26 games unbeaten, the runaway leaders at the top of WSL 2. Ipswich Town, desperate to stay in the division. Contrasting narratives for these two sides. Hammered away by Peake, who gave Ipswich the lead from the penalty spot on the quarter hour. For the best part of an hour and beyond, that looked like being the decisive moment in this game. But here come Charlton again. Newsom, who assisted the equaliser, has won a corner for Charlton. Ashworth Clifford arguing that hers was not the final touch. I think it was. And so Ipswich, for all their hard work, all their good work that they've done on the wettest of nights in deepest Essex. Flat cross is turned out for a corner by a blue shirt. No, says the referee. Well, my naked eye suggested that that should have been a corner. Thestrup is still in the middle, looking around, wondering why it's not a corner. Birmingham City fans will be watching, licking their lips. Portsmouth fans will be watching, licking theirs. It could have been oh so different for Portsmouth had Ipswich held on, and it could still be different. There's a challenge you might see in the Six Nations this weekend, and Adam Alai has reacted to Lockwood. Two substitutes squaring up. And the yellow card is out for Lockwood, and she's asking why not for the Ipswich substitute too, for her aggressive response. But that is pure rugby, a rolling maul. High ball is over the top of Adam Alai, cleared by Charlton and helped up to halfway, and Mary McAteer wins the throw and smashes into Waring as well. Two players giving it absolutely everything in the 89th minute of the match. Bang! It's actually Bethan Rowe who felt the full force of McAteer's challenge, all the way over from left back, doing some defensive duty on the right side of defence. Adam Alai, every time she gets the ball, her first instinct is how do we get it forward? Passes behind Peskett, difficult for her to control. Mina. Into the last 30 seconds of the 90. Terrific contest this. Colette Kavanagh has given the ball away, and Thomas is penalised for the foul on and Dow. Three minutes is being added on at the end of this one. We had 4 in the first half, and Charlton had their best 2 chances of that first half in those added minutes. What can they fashion late in the day? It's hours after dark in Colchester. Hooked away by Kavanagh. It'll be another attacking throw for Charlton Athletic. Ellie Mason up from the back will take it. Full send from Charlton Athletic into the area, too long, too full. Goal kick to Ipswich. And Negri, especially after having that on-field treatment, is not looking to test any of those fast twitch fibres in her thigh muscles. Well, David Wright might be disappointed that the 3 points is to evade his hard-working team. But if it stays like this, he will remain unbeaten as caretaker. 4 games. Scrapping away is Kavanagh in midfield, and she's come up with the ball, and she's won a free kick. No, she hasn't. The throw-in has been given the other way, and Dow just using her body strength, positioning herself well. Katie Bradley, still full of running, is fouled off the ball, but play continues, and it will be a throw-in to Ipswich Town. Into the last minute of the 3 added on. If it's to be, it has to be now. High cross. Negri's not coming for it. It's loose. Emma Bissell is still trying to get a clean shot away. Newsom's cross. And we've got a player down. And a break in play. And Charlton, you can hear 1 or 2 raised voices from the players in red because, well, they felt they were on the attack. But if this is a head injury for Megan Wearing, then you have to break up the play. Cross came in, Wearing was down in a heap. So Joanne Horwood feels it's important for her to receive the treatment, and we've gone beyond the 3 additional minutes pledged. What will be interesting is if Wearing is allowed to stay on the field, because she is having on-field treatment. That usually means you have to go off for 30 seconds, which would therefore mean with 30 seconds left in the game, Ipswich would be playing a woman light. Not ideal. She is bleeding from the mouth, though, so it's hard to argue it's not a justifiable break in play. She lost a tooth there? Nasty. Made of sterner stuff, these women. Quick rinse, like you're at the dentist. Curious colour, that water coming out of her mouth, and she is having to leave the field because of the blood pouring from her mouth. So Ipswich are down to 10. However much time is left to be played, Charlton have a power play. But I'm not sure how we're going to resume play. It'll be a drop ball from somewhere, but where? So Joanne Horwood is going to restart play here. Charlton don't have to give the ball back to Ipswich because they had it when play was broken. This is a straight into the mixer, and they are 1 defender down. There won't be much time. It's got to go. Mary McAteer, the sub, has touched it last. Goal kick. And there can't be much time left. We've played 5, we were supposed to have 3, and I think we had about 92:40 on the clock when we had the break in play. So Negri will walk, and Ipswich will take the point all day long. Adam Malloy will try and keep it in. She can't get there. Throw into Ipswich. Maybe, maybe. Maybe the sting in the tail is coming at the other end. There is no time, there is no time, and at the end of the soggiest 90 minutes of the season, Ipswich have taken a point off the runaway leaders Charlton, but Charlton have preserved their seemingly impregnable unbeaten streak. 27 league games since they were last beaten. Gillian Kenny has had the all-important equalising header, powering the ball into the back of the net. But Charlton trailed for a long, long time in this game, courtesy of the first half penalty scored by Paige Peake. Princess Ademilaye was a real handful as a second half substitute. I look forward to seeing what she can offer in between now and the end of the season. But Charlton have missed a bit of a trick. There's the Ipswich goal scorer. They could have gone 11 points clear. They are 9 points clear of Birmingham, but Birmingham have a game in hand. It might well be a head-in-hands moment for Paige Peake. For much of the night, it looked like Ipswich would steal the most unlikely of wins, but at full time, they've gone 1 point clear of relegation, and they have held the league leaders Charlton to a 1-1 draw. Oh, we just caught sight of David Wright giving handshakes to all of his players. He's been in caretaker charge now for 4 games, and he is unbeaten in those 4 games. There he is, the Ipswich Town caretaker boss. They were rock bottom when he replaced Joe Sheehan last month. They've drawn with Bristol City, they've drawn with Newcastle, and now they've drawn with Charlton. And you add to that the win over their relegation rivals Portsmouth. He is doing a terrific job. And so are his tractor girls, who are going over to the fans now to soak in the applause from those that have soaked in the rain. Hardy souls that have stayed out late in the most grotty of conditions. But it's all worth it when you see your team pull off a point against the team that, by most people's estimations, will be crowned WSL 2 champions in a couple of months' time. Quality performance by the tractor girls. So let's have a look at the balance of it. Oh, Charlton had more shots, more on target in the end. Ipswich's goal came from the penalty spot. They only had 2 shots on target all night. Charlton had to defend though, look at that, 18 clearances, 12 interceptions. Ipswich were winning all of the aerial duels. Passing accuracy evaded them a bit in the second half as Charlton became more and more dominant, up to the point where they got the equaliser through Gillian Kenny's header. A couple of yellow cards apiece. But ultimately, the key stat of the night, all you need to know, is that it's finished 1-1 and Charlton have missed the chance to go 11 points clear at the top. And maybe, just maybe, there's a chink of light for Birmingham City and the rest of the chasing pack, because Birmingham have a game in hand and they still have to play Charlton on the final day of the season. Let's have a quick look at the WSL 2 table as we head towards the dying embers of the season. 6 games left, 7 games left for some of the teams. Let's start down the bottom, because that point for Ipswich Town moves them 1 clear of Portsmouth. Only 1 team gets relegated from WSL 2. Ipswich also have a game in hand on Pompey as well. That might be the key factor for Portsmouth, who've played more than the 2 teams above them. Flicking back to the top of the table, well, Charlton could have gone 11 points clear of Birmingham City. Birmingham were beaten on Monday night. They lost 3-1 to Crystal Palace, who moved up to 3rd in the table. A reminder, in terms of promotion, top 3 is where you want to be. The team in 3rd will play a relegation promotion playoff against the bottom club in WSL 1 for the right to play in the top division next season. The top 2 will be promoted automatically. It's hard to see a case that Charlton won't be in one of those top 2 places, but by failing to beat Ipswich tonight, you just feel it's a real missed opportunity for the team that seemingly over the past couple of months have just been chalking off the games, win by win, as they head for promotion. But will it be the title? We'll have to wait and see.